Hello everyone, Mariko Berg, Realtor with Bridgewell Real Estate Group here in Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada. And today's video, I wanted to do the basics of goods and services tax, GST, in real estate in British Columbia. So I'm going to be going through, what is GST and how much is it, who pays GST, when GST is paid, what it's applicable to, and then also go through some GST new home rebates for you in case they do apply. And I'll maybe try and throw in a quick little calculation example as well. But starting off with GST, what is it? Goods and services tax. You pay it on goods and services, and real estate is included in that, but particularly new homes, not resale homes. So I'll get to that a little bit later. But the amount is 5%. So it's based on the purchase price of the home. So if you purchase a $500,000 property, then you are going to be paying $500,000 plus 5% GST, so 5% of the $500,000. So make sure that you're aware of all the taxes that are involved in purchasing, whether it's GST, whether it's property transfer tax, whether it's foreign buyer tax. I do have another video on taxes that you should be aware of, so I'll leave a link for that one in the description below. But GST is one of the things that you might need to be aware of. It is typically paid by the buyer at the time of completion. So this is not a tax that is the responsibility of the seller in most situations, unless for some reason it's negotiated, and that's very rare. In almost all cases, it's going to be the responsibility of the buyer. So the other thing is that, what does it apply to? Most of the time when you see GST, it's going to be with regards to pre-sales and new homes. So for example, a pre-sale high-rise condo that's being sold by the developer and the developer's sales staff. Take Polygon, Oni, Mosaic, Bosa, those kind of developers. Those types of purchases would be GST applicable. Substantially renovated homes, so a home that is pretty much 90% renovated compared to what it was originally. That would be considered a substantially renovated home, and GST would be applicable. New mobile and floating homes also have GST applicable, and the sale of vacant land might also have GST applicable. But again, in most situations, what are we talking about? We're talking about new construction, newly built homes, pre-sales, condos, townhouses sold by the developer that have never been lived in. If you are purchasing a resale property, a resale that has been lived in, so purchased from a seller that's been there for 20 years, GST is not going to be applicable to you. This is with regards to new homes, and these are the type of things that we typically see classified as new homes. But for all of you that are purchasing, new construction, just be aware of that 5% GST that you're going to need to factor in. The good news is for you is that there are rebates, and as I said before, pay attention to other taxes that you have to pay. One benefit about new homes with regards to the property transfer tax, which is another tax, is that the threshold for the exemption for property transfer tax of newly built homes is $750,000, and it applies to a wider range of people that are using it as their primary residence. Whereas for resale properties, the property transfer tax exemption is specific to first-time home buyers using it as their primary residence, and the threshold is $500,000. So, yes, you're going to have to pay GST with a pre-sale or a newly built home, but your property transfer tax exemption qualification is a lot higher in terms of the purchase price. So I think that pretty much covers all of this here. How much is GST? It's 5% of the purchase price. It's paid by the buyer at the time of the completion. So once title is transferred and the title is registered at Land Title Office, and it mostly applies to pre-sales and newly built homes being sold by a developer that have never been lived in before. So with regards to rebates, there are GST new home rebates. There is a full rebate and there's a partial rebate. There's two types of rebates that you can qualify for. So it's the GST new home rebate, where you're going to be living it as your primary residence. And then there's also the GST new residential rental rebate, where you will be renting it out. So they're both calculated in the same way, and the purchase prices that qualify are also both the same numbers. So for the full rebate for either of those rebates, the purchase price needs to be within $350,000, and for the partial rebate, the purchase price needs to be between $350,000 and no greater than $450,000. If you are purchasing a property that is over the $450,000 mark, then no rebate is going to apply, and you are going to have to pay the full 5% GST. So getting into rebates and exactly how to calculate them, I'll go through a quick example of what the full rebate would look like for you. Let's say based on a $350,000 purchase price, so the maximum purchase price that you can get. So the way that it's calculated, again, the full rebate is 36% of the 5% GST. So it's not a 36% rebate, it's a 36% of the 5% GST. So first things first, you have to start with exactly what the GST for a purchase price of $350,000 is going to look like. So you take the $350,000 number, you multiply it by 0.05, so 5%, 350,000 times 0.05 gives you a total GST without any rebate of $17,500. This is what your GST is going to look like. And then you want to take that number to calculate the rebate. You take $17,500, and you want to get 36% of that number. So you take $17,500 multiplied by 0.36, so 36%, and you get a rebate of $6,300. So that means that rather than your GST being $17,500, you get a rebate of $6,300. And that means that your GST, after you claim the rebate, is going to be $11,200 rather than the full $17,500. So this is an example of the full new home rebate for GST. There's also a partial one that is calculated for properties between the $350,000 to $450,000 mark. I do have another video on calculations and examples for GST new home rebates that I will also leave in the description, so you can check it out if you want a couple different examples. I did one at $300K, did one at $350,000, and I did another one at $400,000 for the partial rebate example as well. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen it already. Another really important thing to note about the GST rebate is that if you are going to be claiming the rebate, it is a claim. So you, with GST, what a lot of people will do is they will blend it into their mortgage payment if they don't want to pay the full GST amount in full at the time of completion. But if you're claiming a rebate, you're not eligible to blend that GST amount into your mortgage because you're getting a rebate back. So you are going to have to pay the full GST at the time of completion and then claim the rebate afterwards. So just be aware of that. Make sure that when you are dealing with the 7-day rescission period and pre-sales, or even if you're dealing with the subject removal with resale properties, that you're just really communicating with your mortgage broker, communicating with your realtor, making sure that you're aware of all the taxes, all the costs that are involved, so that there aren't any last minute scares. So specifically for GST, you don't want to be left thinking, oh, I can blend this into my mortgage payment, when really you have to pay the full 5% GST and then claim the rebate afterwards. So it's all about the little things, guys, and I'm here to guide you if you need it. So again, my name is Mariko. I'm a realtor based in Coquitlam with Bridgewell Real Estate Group. Most of our business is online and referral, so I really service all of the Lower Mainland. I'm everywhere: Vancouver, Surrey, New Westminster. I'm all over the place lately. So if you are thinking about buying a home and you just really want to get an idea of the full cost of home ownership, cost of buying, and just more about the real estate process, then definitely feel free to reach out to me anytime. Like this video, comment below if you have questions, and definitely don't forget to subscribe because I have a lot of educational material on my YouTube channel. I'm providing updates regarding COVID-19. I hope you guys are all staying safe and staying home. And yeah, I'm just gonna try and keep pumping out more content for you guys to keep you busy. So hope you have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine while you can. And again, I hope this video was helpful. See you later, guys.